Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome back to Season 6 of New Girl. We're talking Episode 5, Jaipur Aviv.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello guys and welcome back. We're here to talk Episode 5, Jaipur Aviv. We were having a little bit of a discussion on how to pronounce that correctly. I'm your host, Ally Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta, and on Instagram you can find me at Ally Girl. And here we've got James Janisse. Janisse, right. Sorry, I got Jaipur Aviv right, but
right.
So where can they find you?
Jaipur Aviv. You can find me at James Janisse on Twitter and Instagram, and on YouTube at Practical Folks.
Awesome. And Tessa, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cavel.
Woohoo! Alrighty, guys. So we predicted a bunch of things that happened in this episode.
Yes.
So exciting. First, let's just go right into it. The roommate situation, crazy. You know,
Yes.
They're finally talking about what's going to happen when they move out, and we're talking about the house, which the interior design, Tessa, I'll give you the shout on that one. That was awesome. So, you know, we obviously called the interior design part, and we're going back into the house. But how did you feel about them talking about the roommate situation? Were you expecting any of the talk about Reagan?
I'm excited that they are finally talking about how big that loft is, because I forget, like, I remember reading a website where it said how expensive that would be in LA, like that size loft with everyone with their own room. Like, that's like millions of dollars probably. So
Oh my gosh, definitely.
yeah, I don't think they can afford that.
And then they started talking about the echoes. Winston was like, I'm going to go find some echoes.
I thought it might get even a little bit more meta. Like, I thought once they called it out, I thought maybe they were going to be like, how could a bunch of like young, like early 30s afford this? But
And when they first moved in, all of them were like struggling to even have jobs.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you guys are living in downtown LA, that has got to be crazy expensive.
yeah, like that rooftop view of the city. Yeah.
It's like perfect. Like, I don't
Must be
understand.
nice.
Yeah, like, can we find one of those places around here? Like, that'd be amazing. But so then we get into them actually being in the house, which was funny because Schmidt is trying to bite his tongue about these colors. Do you think that was going to stay inside of him for much longer than it did?
No. Are we surprised at all? No.
He
He's
said,
a very dramatic man.
yeah, he pointed out that the paint swatch was compared to a third world doctor's office. He was trying to match it up to all the different rooms. But did you guys think he did a good job of keeping it in for as long as he did?
Did he keep it in that long, though?
I feel like there was like, oh no, there was a scene where he like stuffed it down and just kept
That
it.
is true.
Yeah, kept it secret with Winston.
Which I thought was good
Yeah.
for Schmidt, because usually it just comes right out. But I feel like he was really trying to make a compromise with Cece.
Isn't it kind of weird that Schmidt was down to buy this house, like knowing his standards and how like kind of germophobic he is? They're in this like beat down house.
No, I totally was thinking that too, because Cece, they were talking about compromise and how they've been having trouble doing that, considering this whole house was a compromise because they had to set below their means.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great point that you bring up, because it's kind of crazy how they have this problem compromising on the small things like the doorbells and the paint swatches and the ceiling fans, but yet they can't really think back like, well, this house was kind of a mistake. But maybe not so much. We'll get more into that. But so Nick calls a loft meeting, and Reagan there's a possibility of her moving in.
Finally mentioned again. It's only been, I don't know, 4 episodes, so.
So how did you guys feel about him bringing her possibly into the loft again?
Here's my thing. Didn't they live together before?
Do you mean when she was subletting Jess's room?
Yes, and when they went to New Orleans. I'm just like confused why this is like a big issue again.
Oh, I think it's just the big issue because of it'll be 6 damn people in the loft. You know, they would have to amend that no more than 5 damn people rule.
I know, but still, I just feel like at the end, Nick was like getting cold feet about
I see what you
asking
mean.
her to move back in. So I'm just like,
Well, if I
what
may, I
happened?
think that, you know, when they're together, when she's subletting Jess's room, he knows that there's an expiration date on that when Jess comes back. Same thing with New
True.
Orleans. He knows that that's not like a permanent thing. Once she moves in here, that's it. You know, there's no like time limit that is an easy out for him if he commits to this.
Good point.
Yeah.
And like going into their whole relationship thing, do you think maybe this brought Nick to think about Jess in a different light now that he realizes he's bringing Reagan into the house with them being there at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we got any indication of that this episode. Because like we had the shot of her looking at, you know, their magnets together, and so obviously that's still on her mind. But I feel like for him it seemed more like it was a self-reflecting thing, or thinking about him and Reagan. I don't know if he had the mental jump to him and Jess.
So you think that the hesitation was only for him and Reagan? There was no base of Jess being in those thoughts?
I don't know. You think there was?
I think so, because Jess was like the leader of the whole thing, and I think it maybe overwhelmed Nick.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like, wow, Jess is like really like for this, and is that weird? I don't know. I think that's kind of why he freaked out in their last meeting.
Yeah, and he did say like that he hadn't thought about like the whole ex-girlfriend kind of thing when she said in the same tone that like, and my ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend will be living across the hall. Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, I think that this kind of brought Nick to be almost the most mature I think we've seen him so far, because he's really trying to make a life decision, which we know he's very bad at.
Yeah.
So him actually coming to this conclusion, and you know, we're seeing Jess do so much work to get all these yeses. But you know, did you guys find it strange that she was trying so hard to get the yes out of everybody?
It seems like classic Jess, you know, like I know Cece's looking out for her because Cece knows her better than maybe she knows herself, because it's definitely, I feel like, yeah, it's her, like she said, it's funneling, what'd she call it? She was the friendship hole.
Yeah.
She really shouldn't have hitched her wagon to the whole metaphor.
Yeah, she kind of got herself stuck, and then she was like, okay, well, I want something to come out of my spout, like in a friendship way, not in a relationship way. But, you know, I just think it's a little strange, because I'm like, Jess, why are you doing this to yourself again? Because this is how she got herself into it in the first place. She told Nick to go after Reagan, and then look where we are. So I was just very shocked that she would go and do this all again in such a huge way, because she went to everybody specifically and tried to sway their vote, which they did. She even swayed Nick. But that's just how convincing she is. But, you know, on a side note, talking about the house and realizing that there's a little backstory about how they think that it could possibly be in a porno. And they don't want to tell Schmidt about this, and so they have the secret vault.
Oh man, I love the idea of the secret vault.
I love it too. Do you guys have anything like that with your friends? Do you have like a secret vault that you like keep from people?
No, but I want to now.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I should
It sounds
start
like-
that.
It feels
sounds like
so
a reasonable-
intimate, right?
Yeah. And also, for anyone who wanted to know, the 5 secrets in the vault are the Lost Umbrella, Jalapeno 99, Duck Duck Gavin, Upper Deck Timeshare, and Halloween 2004. What those are, we'll never know.
Oh, well, hopefully, maybe we'll see where they come out, because they almost got to the Halloween thing, and it was about the candy.
Yeah.
But then we got dumped down, and it was not going to happen.
I'm really curious what Duck Duck Gavin is all about. You know?
Yeah.
Who's Gavin?
I don't know. I feel like that name like resonated with me for some reason. I'm like, wait, do I know this, or is it something that like happened years ago? I don't know. But hopefully, maybe if those come up in the coming episodes, that would be really interesting to see what happens there. But going back to Jess and Cece, would you guys let your friends do this? I know Cece tries really hard to say that she's protecting Jess, but do you really think she is by letting her go along with this? Would you let your friend live with their ex-boyfriend and current girlfriend?
I feel like it's such, and this is such a bad answer, but such a situation by situation question.
Okay.
Umbrella answer, no.
Yeah.
I think it's strange.
Yeah, no, I'll co-sign that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know. I guess I don't know why someone would want to.
No, I totally get it. And I think that
Would
Jess
you
is...
want to live with your ex?
and their current girlfriend. It's one of those things where...
Like, no.
Yeah, it's one of those things, too, where, like, no matter what, there's always going to be something there. And clearly, there is. And that, like, just seeing them together, there's automatic chemistry, but I just feel like Nick is blocking it
And
off.
they're finally together. Can we acknowledge that
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
like the first time they've had like an interaction since the first episode?
And they had a bunch of just one-on-one conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes with just the two of them.
yeah.
And I was shocked because did you guys notice that Jess was being very calm about it? She wasn't acting different at all. Like she
I was
wouldn't.
really surprised by that too.
Yeah, she wasn't freaking out. She was kind of playing it cool.
Yeah, which is kind of hard for Jess to do in Nick's presence when she knows that she's admitted that she loves him. And she, again, admitted this episode, I'm in love with Nick. And that brings her to the whole, I need to figure out this whole friendship thing.
Yeah.
And I need to, what was it? I need to see where this friendship can go in terms of a relationship with the whole, I don't know. She was explaining it. I was trying to follow.
Jess.
But okay, so then finally everybody says yes except Nick. But did you guys notice when he was talking to Winston, did you notice that he had a hesitant look on his face, like, and he just jumped to a different subject?
Yeah, I think, wasn't it when Winston reassured him that he was ready for this? Like, Winston was like, no, man, it'll be great. You're ready for this. And then I think Nick was like, wait, someone's telling me I'm ready for something? Maybe I'm not ready for something.
Yeah, because he immediately looked away and realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing this. But then again, we just have to realize, like, I'm having an internal struggle realizing, is it because you're wondering about Jess, or is it because it's only about you and Reagan?
Yeah.
Also, question, do you think Reagan will say yes if Nick asks her?
I don't know. I feel like she will, just because we're going to have to see that struggle. Like, I think that they're definitely going to bring her back to kind of make him maybe realize how much he likes Jess. Because maybe there's going to be some things that happen with Reagan. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm wondering how many episodes we'll get with the Reagan. Because
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know if it'll
know.
just be one where there's, like, it's closure on that whole subplot, or if it'll be like last year where there's a string of episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see, I guess. But were you guys even shocked that he was the one that originally said no? Like, did you guys see that coming?
That Nick did?
That Nick was going to say no?
No, I did not see that one coming.
Oh, do you think but that, like, after this episode that it would be resolved? I mean, I guess it kind of was, because Jess convinces him in the end, but that, like, it would be resolved that she would come over. Yeah. I figured that. What I thought was weird was that the first time through when there were the no's, they didn't, like, Nick didn't suspect Cece, because I knew Cece right away.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think Winston would go against him.
I thought Winston would go against
Yeah?
him. Yeah.
Really? Why?
Because Winston has that, like, funny girl vibe. Remember how he was Cece's, like, he was a best man and a bridesmaid. Remember, he picked the dress out with her. And so that's why I feel like,
about that.
and Winston has this, like, secret, like, deep down, like, I feel like friendship with the girls that he was really, I feel like he would have sided with Jess and be like, well, I know that you love him, so I'm not going to put you in this situation. You know, and they even said that they're like, well, do we want to find other roommates where we're going to have to tell them about the whole Winston situation, what you don't know about him?
I like that that's a weekend-long thing. They're like, that's a long weekend explaining how Winston is.
Which one of his asks in Swaying Yes was the dual relationship with Ferguson.
My God, yes. It's the Ferguson Bishop White Immersion Program, because while it's progressive that he's only seen interracial couples, he realizes that that's not how the world is.
And Nick was like, he doesn't even get out of the house.
Yeah. It's like, do you think that cat even knows who Winston is? And just like, no, but...
No, but maybe he eventually will. That's such a Winston thing. I'm just like waiting for Ally to move in. Like, I'm waiting for it to be like a crazy situation where they all have somebody living in the house and Jess is like going crazy. With,
she's like the only single one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I was just thinking about that with all this like commotion happening, and we did get a time frame. They're going to be 6 months living in the house until they move out.
Yeah, that's right. They did mention that, which is a long time. Is that just how long it takes to make a house not crappy?
I would assume so, because I would assume the plumbing's messed up. Obviously, all the walls, and if they're doing it on their own,
Yeah.
But
Need
how
the
long
property
how
brothers
many
in there.
episodes do you think it'll be? Like, because I guess I always like think about it in terms of how many weeks or months go by when we go to the next episode.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know how many.
Well, maybe, you know how all shows have that mid-season break for the holidays?
Yeah,
maybe that'll be it. And
that's true.
When
We'll
we come
back.
and they'll be in the house.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Great prediction.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we should just. I feel like we're already talking
know,
our
there's a
predictions, so we
lot
need
of,
to hold
predictions,
it.
yeah.
We do have a lot.
Put a lid on it.
But also, so we see Cece and Schmidt kind of get into their compromise, and we see Schmidt kind of antsy in his pants, trying to figure out how he's going to compromise with the color blue and the cabinets. So, what was your guys' take on Schmidt's compromise to these decisions?
I love that he just doesn't understand at first. Well, he's like going back and forth. It's not making any sense. I'm like, Schmidt, come on.
Yeah,
He gave her the doorbell.
he did give her the doorbell.
That was my favorite scene because they did it like in the store and then in the house.
Yeah,
Just like,
I love
this.
goofy Cece. I love like dancing
Yeah.
to this, or and the fact that she can't tell cabinets apart, even when it comes to like metal versus wood.
He was like,
"I'm
"Wait,
really
you don't know what the difference between metal and wood is?" And she was like, "I don't know. It's all the same. It's all cabinets."
Cabinet's a cabinet.
Which I was really excited that she was like, you know what, you can take this one. But
Yeah.
I thought it was really great that they had the sit down talk of like, this is what a compromise is, and she's teaching him communication. Because we see that that's something that Schmidt's had a little bit of a struggle with because he's always had his way. And yet he, like with this, like everybody, he's just always had his way, and he just kind of can nag them and do his little Schmidt thing until he gets what he wants. But I really think, like, in terms of relationships of everybody, I think everybody, obviously, they're, like, my favorite group of friends, and I just want to be friends with them. But I feel like Jess is just being too strong. And I don't know if I could have done this, and I was thinking about it, man, if I was Jess, would I have been able to give Nick the go-ahead to have his girlfriend live with him? Would you guys have been able to compromise on that?
No, I wouldn't have put up that front, you know? I just would have
Right?
been like, no.
But I feel like it's just overcompensating for like how she
Yeah.
really feels.
Absolutely.
Which I might do, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, you think you're a Jess?
No, I wouldn't. I lied.
She's like, never mind. So should we get into some of our favorite lines from the show?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It's not decorating, it's interior design. It's not a Christmas cookie.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Mine was every beautiful thing has one flaw.
Not two.
Not two.
Dramatic
Only
when he
ugly
said
things have
it.
two.
It's like,
Mine was another Schmidt line. It was, "You always let me cook the dessert even though I burn it." Which I thought was funny
Aw.
because I feel like dessert is something I feel really hard to burn.
Yeah.
Because pies already take long anyway. So like,
true.
how do you burn dessert? Most of it's like, if it's pudding, you know, it's milk and water and like a mixture. So I just thought that was funny because it's like, I feel like it's
ice
hard.
cream.
Yeah, ice
like,
cream, that's
how do
what
you
mine
burn
was, too.
dessert? Except brownies. I feel like brownies is something you could easily burn.
Yeah, or
But I
creme
feel like
brulee.
it's- Oh, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's
That's
going a little too
intentional.
far.
Well, we're talking about Schmidt here, though.
That's true.
You
That's
know?
true. He goes for the full like 100 meal course dinner or whatever. He's gonna go for it.
Another line I really liked was when Nick, when Jess asked Nick if, like, does a shark ruin a family vacation? He's like, no. It's like, no, of course not.
And then she was like, "Oh, but if he bites a family member," he's like, "Well, that's questionable." And she
Yeah,
was
like,
like,
maybe.
"But that could ruin the vacation." She's like, "Okay, well, does a puppy make a child smile?" He's like, "Well, I don't know." She's
There's
like,
a lot of factors there.
"She's like, I can't with this right now."
Oh, I love Nick.
I love them together. Like
Yeah.
seeing them just in a scene
miss
again
them
together.
together.
I know.
I do.
We'll get it back. Don't worry.
Please.
I know.
Promise.
Especially like watching all the gifts and everything. Like whenever I'm like getting excited for the show, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm looking through all the gifts and I just see the one where they're kissing and I'm like, they're meant to be. Like they are going to happen. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I just feel like also Nick is kind of like lost right now. I don't think he actually realizes anything that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, he even says, I don't know what I want, like, after he votes
Yeah.
himself no, so.
Which was very traumatic for Nick. I feel like usually he would just walk away.
Yeah.
The fact
No,
that
I agree.
He's been very vocal this season. And I feel like we're seeing a very mature Nick, which is
Yeah.
kind of strange in a way, because he's always been the one to be a little bit immature, not understand what he wants in his life. Not that he knows what he wants, but we're seeing him make some decisions. So with that being said, should we get into some predictions for next episode?
I think so.
Okay.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Alrighty, Tessa, you want to go first?
I always have the same prediction. I think Nick and Jess are gonna kind of have a heated, I don't know if heated's the right word, discussion about Reagan moving in. Like I feel like there's gonna be another layer to this whole process.
Okay.
Do you think it'll involve her, like, breaking down that front that she's projecting?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think like something will like trigger in Jess. Like Jess will come out of her overcompensating of this whole thing and like kind of be
Kind of have a freak out, like when she knits or builds
Yeah,
things when
yeah.
she gets stressed.
Yeah, that's my prediction. It's
Alright.
like it's gonna come to more of a head.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. I like that. James, what about you?
Yeah, I'll go with that season break. The break for the season will be when they move into the house. and that we'll come back in January and CC and Schmidt will be in the house, which will be weird. And I don't know if we'll focus on two. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That still makes me depressed.
I know. The
considering
Loft's another character.
It is.
Yeah.
The
How will they
Loft
play
is a
True
person.
American?
I don't know, but that is something I've been wanting to talk about for a really long time. Because True American, I want to know the rules. And have you guys ever seen like the Pinterest things of like people that have made rules for it?
Yeah.
I just need a place big enough to play it. Love True American. Was that the end of your prediction? Sorry, I just like jumped
Oh
over.
no, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say
okay.
yes.
I like that one. I think my prediction's going to be that we'll see Reagan come in, and I think it's going to be really awkward tension between Jess and Reagan because Reagan's not going to understand. Jess is going to play the whole like, I'm kind of being nice, but I also am mean to you, where she doesn't really know how to act towards her. So Reagan's like, what's going on? And then that's how they're going to figure out, oh my gosh, Jess still cares about you, Nick. And then it's going to be either great or it could go south, but I hope that it goes great. And then my other prediction was I think we're gonna have a couple episodes like we did like the standalone ones where we're not going back to the house or we're not seeing Nick and Jess get together. So we'll see a couple other like random things happen in between, but I don't think we're gonna have a Nick and Jess interaction as much as we would like to see just yet.
You know what else? One more thing that I thought was interesting is everyone knows Jess still loves Nick, right?
Yeah.
But Cece, I felt like, was the only one that really confronted this weird situation of Reagan moving in.
I think you're right. That's so true because even Schmidt and Winston, I was expecting Winston to call her out
too,
because
and it didn't happen.
Yeah, and he just had some random thing about how he wanted to see Nick walk down the stairs in his jeans with the belt
present
off.
him with a new belt.
Belt off, belt on.
I love Winston so much.
Yeah, and then Schmidt didn't even bring it up either. I feel like that's something that everybody's just kind of ignoring because I think this is the first time that Jess really hasn't been that vocal about it to Nick or like made some sort of commotion.
I mean, they were both pretty distracted. Winston trying to track down whether or not this was the porn house, and Schmidt just trying his interior design.
But still,
yeah,
didn't happen.
Wait, and talking about the trying to figure out the house was in the porno, I just thought it was really funny when they were in the bathroom, and she's like, "Oh, what is this, a prom picture?" And he's just like,
Kinda.
"Oh yeah,
Not phased at all.
not really a prom picture." But hopefully we can see those things happen next episode or within the next couple, because I really just like I think I'm just longing for that like locking of Nick and Jess of them kissing again. Like that was the most epic thing that has happened in all the seasons, and I just want it to happen again because I love them together. So hopefully we'll see that happen. Hopefully our predictions.
But don't forget about Robbie, guys. Because last we checked in
always-
with Jess,
you're right.
she was like kind of siding up to Robbie. So I that's another prediction. Robbie's gonna come back and they're
You're
gonna have like a
right.
date episode, maybe just one.
Oh my gosh,
She's gonna like use him. I feel like to like make Nick jealous. Wow.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
didn't think about this.
And then she's gonna be like, "Hey Nick, look at my boyfriend."
And Robbie will just be like, "Hi."
He'll be like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" Like trying to be best friends with him. You're right. Man, I can't believe I forgot about Robbie. They had such a great connection last. That was great. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, comment, tweet us. You can tweet me at Ally Nasta, and where you think they find you?
At James Janisse on Twitter and Instagram, at Practical Folks on YouTube.
Tessa_Cavel on Instagram and Twitter.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.